This is Tom Urban, and you're listening to the Hal Sparks radio program, mega worldwide on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT.
Indeed you are, and made even more powerful in its scope and reach because I have the Meidas Touch guys on who have the number 12 podcast on Apple right now? Is it, where are
number
you?
15, it's number 15, but after the show, I have a feeling we're going to skyrocket up to number
That's
12.
right. You're going to get at least 1,000 more people, which is all you need in podcast world to make all the difference. I think a lot of us. I'm curious what you guys think. People who watch the show know my opinion about where Trump's going to be after this election. I'm curious to what you guys think will happen to his influence in the Republican Party and in politics after this is over.
I don't think I don't think it's a foregone conclusion what it is. If we're complacent and we start giving him the attention that he's this oddity and we view him like he's a zoo animal and just keep giving him press, he could regenerate. So we should be careful. But if the steps that are happening now, the deplatforming, the isolation, the shaming for his overthrowing of attempting to overthrow a democracy and for 4 years, having a quasi weird kind of cosplay dictatorship that he's had, I think that the law will indeed catch up to him. And I think that he's going to be increasingly isolated. I think there are going to be criminal charges brought against him. I think there are going to be state actions. I think more information is going to leak about all of the horrible things as former Trump officials try to rebrand themselves in their next act. And so I think he's going to be viewed as not just the worst president in history, but the worst person in history. And I'm not saying that as hyperbole, but he's going to get increasingly kind of shamed, and and he faces real criminal repercussions. So, and I'm not saying that like he's going to get arrested. He really is going to get arrested. Is my prediction.
Yeah, if E. Jean Carroll has anything to say about it, first she'll win her defamation case against him because now he will have to actually show up for the deposition, and there will be. She'll have, this might be the first case where a post-presidency, a regular citizen has the right to argue to get rid of executive privilege in a case where she was targeted as a citizen by the president of the United States. Just that alone is extraordinary on its legal reach because he told Bill Barr to, act as his personal attorney, and there's conversations between the two of them about shutting her down and making her not being able to, fight her defamation case about her sexual assault case against him, and then charges, and then other people coming forward. I'm like, I think you're right about that part. I'm curious, Brett and Jordy, what your thoughts about his reach afterwards too. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, never have we had an attorney general so clearly not work in the interests of the United States of America, but work in the interests of one man, the president of the United States. And Bill Barr leaving on December 25th or whenever he left, like in hindsight, I'm also curious, what did he know about what was to come? Why did he choose to leave at that time? Like, clearly he knew.
He knew all that, Brett. He knew the My Pillow guy was coming in. He knew the My Pillow guys coming in with manifestos, and he's like, all right, I'll go up to a certain limit. Like, I'll do some crazy
except
stuff,
for overthrowing democracy. That's where you drew the line.
I'm pulling the parachute at insurrection because look, these people, Brett, though, they know how to survive in this world. Bill Barr is evil, but smart. Trump is evil,
functional.
But Trump isn't. There's a reason why Trump went bankrupt so many times, because he takes it to that level,
and he just kept lowering the bar about what he was willing to do to recover every single time.
And I'll say this about Trump and Trumpism going forward. I think it's important. Deplatforming is important, but deprogramming, like Ben was hinting at, is even more important. Because if we can deprogram these cultists, right, that's going to be a huge step into making sure Trump's actual reach is lessened.
One of the consistencies that we've heard in speaking with people from Homeland Security experts like Juliet Kayyem to Representative Ted Lieu, who we spoke with on our podcast a couple days ago, is that people who follow Trump follow him knowing or with the concept behind it that he's a winner. So we need to do everything that we can to shame him and show the world that he's a loser. And nothing is more important than, you know, first getting him out of office, which immediately makes him look like a loser. And I think you sort of see it when Parler was still up, RIP. You saw people starting to question a little bit. I don't understand. Q said the storm is coming. Q said that Trump is going to be president. I don't understand. Lynn Wood, are you gonna spill the beans, or is this all a fraud? Like, what's going on, Trump? And so I think once people start being confronted with the reality that they've been lied to, I think there will be a small amount of those people who can be susceptible to then being pulled back to reality. But I think there'll also be a percentage of those people who could be pulled even deeper into something even darker than they're in now. So I think we need to be vigilant and constantly. Well,
there is, you know, there's varying levels of bottom in this situation, and a bunch of people. We had stories last year, and I'm sure you guys saw them, of people hitting bottom with their families, going, I was stuck in the Q cult and I got to get out. And they, like last summer, there was a few stories of that starting to emerge. People who were like lonely, had lost all their friends, their family wouldn't talk to them, and they were like, I just bought all this stuff. You know, that there'll be some more of that, because the people who are almost like those people weren't quite ready to go there yet, or thought if they did, it ceded ground to Marxist, communist, you know, Chinese, you know, psychopaths that are going to run the country and all that. No.
You don't see a lot of family members defending the people who are at the Capitol, which I think shows you a bit of who these people are.
Turning them in.
Families.
I mean, one girl turned her whole family in.
Dweck had a great tweet about that. I'm going to find it right now.
Find it.
Yeah.
Find it. But I mean, there are a lot of, you know, I feel like there are a lot of people who feel in some form or fashion as rejects from society or isolated from society. And I think that's a lot of the Trump administration too. This is not your A team of political advisors.
No.
This is not even the B, the C, the D, the E, or the F team. What does the tweet say? Probably just coincidence that everyone at the Trump riot had people in their personal lives who couldn't wait to turn them in.
Right.
It's the truth.
Just a coincidence.
The DOD, you know how Trump was funneling these loyalists in, you know, at the last minute into, you know, military positions. And there was a lot of concern about that. Because what difference does it make? Why would you change people out in the last couple of weeks? Bill Barr leaving and these guys going in, and we know this manifesto that we're seeing now is something that was spread all over the White House and was being funneled into Trump by Rudy Giuliani and Lynn Wood when he was still allowed in the building and stuff, like next level crazy stuff. The acting secretary, Chris Miller, the guy he put in, acting Secretary of Defense. I don't know if you guys have seen, they posted it at defense.gov, the transcript of his outgoing press gaggle, where he just met with everybody to give them a last little rundown, and then and then the new administration's really going to come in and take stuff over, and really the day-to-day is being run, whatever. This is, somebody asked him about the Pentagon's acquisition process and some normal stuff, like literally reporters just trying to do. I covered the Defense Department. This is my beat. I have questions about F-35 and the F-16 and financing. His final question, he goes, I cannot wait to leave this job, believe me. But part of me is like, I would have loved to have gotten involved in the acquisition process and try, and, you know, talk about a wicked problem. I wanted to take that one on. F-35 is a case study. Although, I got to tell you, yesterday we were talking to some guy, some lieutenant colonel or colonel, said, what are you flying? Said, F-35. I was like, that's a piece of... And he was like, he laughed, and he was like, no, seriously, tell me about it. And he was like, an F-16 guy, F-35. He said, unbelievable aircraft. That investment for that capability, they were just never supposed to use. Well, we have to deter blah, 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 blah. Are we fifth generation? You know, I think it's hilarious. You know, right now, you know, well, we need to invest in the sixth generation. I'm like, we've created a monster, but you know that. Thank you. And he just left. That was it. That was the end.
What a statement.
That is the acting Secretary of Defense of the largest military times 6 of all other militaries on Earth combined, giving his final statement as the secretary. And he was the guy that Trump went, you know what? We've only got a few weeks left. Get that guy out. I need the money. I need this guy in there. That was his final statement, acting as acting Secretary of Defense. Blah, 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 blah. It's actually in the transcript.
And Trump has all these acting. He never actually went through the appropriate, processes and procedures.
They wouldn't make it. None of them would make it.
Yeah. Part of disinfo is also kind of attacking sensibility and education and all of that. And you see
competence.
Like Brett, we had a clip yesterday of Congresswoman Bobber, who helped lead some of the terrorists, gave it like a tour allegedly, the day before. And she's giving a speech about inalienable rights. And she goes, the word is unalienable. It's not inalienable, it's unalienable. And it's like, why? Like, it's a major point for her to tell you that the word is unalienable. And it's just that utter...
The sky is not blue. The sky is purple.
Right. Yeah, we must make
purple. This. You must say the sky is purple.
Yes. Look, we've drank the Kool-Aid 4 times. It wasn't poison before. I know he's telling us now, but let's just go ahead and drink it, and then we'll go back to the pineapple farm. That's the last thoughts of about 80% of the people at Jonestown. And Jonestown was created because that wasn't the first time they drank the Kool-Aid, is the lesson of Jonestown. The lesson of Jonestown was they had it a dozen times. They did dry runs again and again and again until it was poison. Because you couldn't get them to do it right away. They knew, like, and they ostracized, actually, look at this, and I drank everyone's, and it was actually fine, and you guys, now we know who the heretics are. They did that all last year amongst themselves, and they're doing it right now, circling the wagons. We have to take a break. You guys mind staying with one more block with us? That'd be awesome. Excellent. Cool. We're going to stick around a little bit with the Meidas Touch, guys. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk.